As some of you may know, Allure of the Seas was supposed to get a huge upgrade back in 2020, and when COVID hit, that did not happen, but we have an interesting development on that project. So let's take a look. What's going on, everybody? My name is Brandon. If you like cruise news, cruise vlogs, and ship tours, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified every time we upload a new video. We even have a upcoming cruise in 2 days of me filming this on Allure of the Seas, so we have a lot of Allure of the Seas content coming right here for you, including a ship tour, daily vlogs, room tours, everything. Anyways, let's dive right in. So yes, like I said, Allure of the Seas back in 2020, she was set to get a huge amplification, or the amplification program for Royal Caribbean is essentially just a huge refurbishment project that they were going to do almost fleet-wide. So basically, if you see the Oasis of the Seas, how it is now, how it has that extra set of rooms or the suites above the bridge, all the new water slides, new restaurants like Playmakers, things along those lines, that's what we're referring to when we say amplification. So that's the big background when I say that rather than the refurbishment. That's just what Royal Caribbean calls it. So in 2020, Allure of the Seas was scheduled to get that in March of 2020, and we all know what happened in March of 2020. Bad things happened. And Allure of the Seas was actually on her way over there. She arrived in the shipyard in Cadiz, Spain, basically the day that everything shut down. So she got there and nothing happened. And of course, with all the debt that all the cruise lines took on, and almost every company at that point in time was taking on, that project got pushed back, and what really sounded like it got scrapped. But we have a little bit of extra light coming to it, or maybe this might be getting revived. I know Explorer of the Seas was actually another ship, the same exact scenario, didn't get her amplification. Explorer of the Seas actually got upgraded in early 2023. She didn't get quite the huge amplification that they call it, but she did get the water slides that we had been waiting for, along with just, freshen everything up, as the Explorer of the Seas is getting pretty up there in age. So those two projects kind of got pushed off. It seems like Explorer at least got a little bit of it. But now, Royal Caribbean has actually just released their summer European sailings for the year of 2025. So let's dive right into those real quick. And of course, once we get to a certain point, you'll realize why Allure is coming to topic and why all of this is relevant in the video. So just bear with me 1 second. We're going to go over the deployments for the summer of 2025 for Europe for Royal Caribbean. So we have a group of ships going over to Europe in 2025. There's a total of 6 of them. Independence of the Seas will be leaving Florida. We will miss her dearly. And she's actually going to return to the UK after several years of being away from there. She's spent a lot of time over there in the past. She's going to be sailing from Southampton. She's going to do a wide variety of sailings, going to Spain, Portugal, Northern Europe, and a couple other places. Brilliance of the Seas is going to head over to the Mediterranean and be doing Greek Isle cruises for the summer in 2025. And then around August, she's going to move over to Barcelona and then up to Southampton. Explorer of the Seas is going to return for another season. She's been doing this for a couple years straight now. She's going to be returning to the Greek Isle cruises over from Italy. Odyssey of the Seas, same thing here. She's going to be going from New York over to Rome rather than Fort Lauderdale because they're taking her away from us. I'm very upset about that still. So Odyssey of the Seas, Explorer of the Seas, Brilliance, Independence, and now we have the Allure of the Seas. The Allure of the Seas is heading over to Europe in 2025. Now, what does this have to do with the dry dock amplification? Well, they do that big amplification over in Europe, over in Cadiz. So, and when she gets over to Cadiz in February of 2025, there is actually a gap in her schedule up until April. So there's a 2-month gap. And Oasis, it was a 60-day dry dock. So it sounds like after all of this time, we might finally be getting a amplified Allure of the Seas, finally getting the Ultimate Abyss, water slides, Playmakers, everything that we love on all of the other Oasis class ships. It is very unfortunate that she hasn't been upgraded to this point, but given the circumstances, it's understandable. So the fact that she's heading over to Europe in 2025 is huge news in the first place, and then there is that 2-month gap as soon as she gets there. That's going to be really, really neat. So very excited to see what's to come with Allure of the Seas. They may even do some new things as it's been quite some time since they've done the upgrades to Oasis, so they may be doing this a little bit differently. It may look different than Oasis. They may be doing stuff that Utopia has. Who really knows? But of course, I would expect this to get announced probably sometime in 2024, or they could even announce this pretty soon, as now the secret's out that she's going to be out of service for 2 months just randomly. So people could probably catch on pretty quick. It didn't take too long for me to realize that. So it's very likely that she's going to be upgraded in early 2025 before she starts her Mediterranean season over in Europe. Once she's finished with the dry dock in April of 2025, she will be offering Western Mediterranean cruises and a couple short cruises at the end of the season. No word of where she's going to return to at the end of the year, at the end of 2025, but we can only assume maybe she's going to come back to the 3 and 4 night sailings from Miami. That's what she's going to be doing from the time Utopia arrives in June or July of 2024, so in just a few months now. She's going to be repositioning down to Miami, doing the 3 and 4 night sailings there, taking over for Freedom, and then she'll be doing those sailings up until she leaves to go over to Europe. So it's possible she comes back to continue those sailings in the meantime, or she may be even doing some 7-night sailings out of Miami. Who really knows? So lots of additional stuff to come very soon for this, but it is very exciting and definitely a lot of speculation with this one, but I wouldn't be surprised if this gets announced pretty soon. Anyways, I know I'm personally very excited to be going on Allure in 2 days now, so let me know what your thoughts are down below. I'm very excited to see Allure finally getting some love. I would love to sail on her when she finally gets upgraded as well. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos of Allure of the Seas and all sorts of Royal Caribbean ships, all sorts of Port Canaveral content. We will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.